Good morning. Our service today has been put together by one of our congregants, Amy Nixon, and you may remember that throughout the years we have other congregants who offer us a message of hope and spiritual development. And if any of you are interested in preaching or creating a service, you can create it from your own home right now. It could be a very creative and fun endeavor. Please let me know. You can email me, and my email is on the church website. Because today we are talking about singing alone, I thought that I would show you one of my favorite pieces of artwork that I have in my home, because something else that we do alone is meditate, noticing our own breath and the sensations in our own bodies. And yet, this image, which I'll show you a close-up of in a second, is of a bodhisattva. A bodhisattva is a Buddha who chooses to not go to nirvana, but instead uses their life and their enlightenment for the betterment and enlightenment of others. This particular Buddha is named Avalokiteshvara, and you will see when I show you the close-up, all around here are thousands of tiny little hands, which are symbols of him reaching back down to pull other people up. So in 1 minute, we will do a short meditation on the sensations in the body, but I just thought that you might find this really interesting. So let us meditate. I invite you to close your eyes, put your feet flat on the floor, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And now we're just going to take a moment, because so many of us are cooped up and there is a real possibility of loss of range of movement, especially for people of a certain age. I'm just going to invite you to look so gently over your right shoulder, breathing. And then come back to center. And then look so gently over your left shoulder. And then come back to center. And I'll invite you to find some space in your spine, just adopting a relaxed muscle body, a friendly sense towards yourself. In many mystical religions, it is believed that the syllable Om is the primordial sound of the universe. And something that many people don't know about the use of the word Om is that the longest part of it is spent with your lips sealed. So it's not Om, it's Om. So we're just going to try a little bit of this, as I think it speaks to singing alone and humming alone and just enjoying the sensations in our bodies of creating sounds and using our bodies as musical instruments. So if I can do this on YouTube, you can do this at home. All right, so I'll have you breathe in through your nose. And when you exhale, just let out a Om. Then you can hear my cat. She wants to Om with us. So we'll do it again, breathing in. Om. And this time, breathing in, I invite you to really notice the vibration. This is our last time. And we'll come back to this later in the service.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Blessed be.
It's chalice lighting time! All you need is a candle, a spark, and some sort of special chalice. And some parental supervision.
Good morning. I'm Amy Nixon, a member of Shawnee Mission Unitarian Universalist Church. It's a joy to see you and an honor to be broadcast into your homes. At SMUUCh, we affirm that love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with one another. Come, let us worship.
How are you doing today?
I miss everyone so much. Yeah. Me too. I miss church a lot.
Aw, what do you miss about church?
Well, I miss my friends. And, I feel that church is my calling, so I feel a little bit purposeless without it. Like, who am I without my community? And do I even exist without others? What is the definition of the
boring. Church is boring.
What?
Is all of church boring, Zoe?
Well, what about in worship? Which part do you love the most in worship? Is it lighting the chalice?
No. No.
What about the ringing bowl?
No.
What about when we greet each other?
No.
What about the sermon?
Definitely not.
What about singing?
Oh yeah, I love singing. Singing is amazing. Oh, I love the sound of music and the piano and the songs. My favorite part.
What about the rest of you? Do you all love to sing?
I do.
It's definitely my favorite part too.
Singing is the best.
Well, have you been singing along to the hymns at home when watching our service?
I tried, but it's not the same. I feel awkward.
Well, I get that. But even when we are alone, it's really important for us to sing. Singing is such a big part of the winter holidays, and singing alone is something that we need to talk about this holiday season.
Did someone say singing?
Yes. Hi, Hilda. It's so great to see you. Such a surprise, but always wonderful.
Yes, lovely to see you too, Miss Patrice.
Thank you. We were just talking about singing, so it's perfect. What do you know about singing, Hilda?
What don't I know about singing? Oh, well, I know just about everything. When I did my debut at the Concerto Pastoral, I was the prima donna of the lyric opera.
That's amazing.
I was the star.
You were a star?
Of course.
Why were you a star?
Because I have the most beautiful singing voice anyone has ever heard.
Well, could we ask you a few other questions then, Hilda?
If you must.
We know it's so beautiful to sing together, as you've shared, but what's so special about singing alone?
It's about your self-worth. Your singing has the power to change the world. Mm-hmm. And you have to feel the music in your whole body and let it come from your diaphragm, from deep inside. Oh! Like that.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you for that. That was beautiful. Let's each sing a piece of the hymn that we're going to sing later today.
What hymn? What key? What key is the hymn in?
You know, Hilda, I feel like that's your expertise.
I suppose I shall lead the way.
When I breathe in.
Go on, sweetie.
I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
Well, keep practicing, silly.
I thought it was great.
Start on that note. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love.
I think we might have to ask Sean to put you guys in our choir.
I don't sing unless I'm the soloist.
Well, thank you so much for singing today. It must be super special for you to share your beautiful singing voice.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, everybody, before we leave, we just want to ask you all to sing in our hymn coming up and to remember what Miss Hilda said, why it's important to sing alone.
Bye-bye. See you later.
This is a time in our service where we expand the love of our community. This week, our hearts go out especially to those who are missing the presence of their loved ones during this unusual holiday season. We offer friendship to those who have experienced alienation elsewhere and solace to those who are struggling to make ends meet. We share our compassion with those who suffer from physical or mental illness and to those who support them on their journeys. We extend our deep gratitude to helpers and caregivers of all kinds, those who see a need and don't hesitate to fill it. We honor their grace, their humility, and the many personal sacrifices they make to be in service to others. And as always, we rejoice at the kaleidoscope of beauty in this world, no matter how life-changing or seemingly ordinary each piece of beauty may be. Today's reading is taken from Imperfect Harmony by Stacy Horn. Anthracite is the most beautiful coal in the world. A coal car of anthracite emerging from the mines looks like a mountain full of dusty but sparkling black diamonds. It is also the hardest, densest, rarest, and most expensive coal in the world. When it burns blue, and if it catches fire underground, it's almost impossible to put out. On a June morning in 1919 in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, anthracite miners were riding in a line of trolley cars underground when sparks ignited 24 kegs of blasting powder loaded in the rear. There was a sudden roar, and in an instant, 92 men and boys lost their lives. Scores more were maimed and severely burned. A few days later, 13 of their surviving brethren met at the Grant Street School, christened themselves the Orpheus Glee Club, and began to sing. Most of the Glee Club members were Welsh. For them, singing was how they celebrated and also how they grieved. James J. Davis, a Welshman who became the Secretary of Labor 2 years after the Wilkes-Barre disaster, said in his autobiography, "I think the reason I have never cared for drink is this. The ease from mental pain that other men have sought in alcohol, I always found in song. The whole land of Wales echoes with the folk songs of a people who sing because they must." When I was in my early 30s, I could have given you a very long list of the things I must do. I must make sure my son gets to school on time. I must be scrupulously detailed in the work I do for my employer. I must sneak new socks into my husband's drawer on garbage day to make sure the holy ones are already at the landfill before he notices. I must scoop the litter box, deadhead the hydrangeas, change the burned out light bulb over the sink, have the tires on my car rotated. Singing would not have made it onto that very lengthy list. One night I had reached that watershed moment where movies and novels often begin, the point where, from the depths of loneliness and despair, the main character realizes that something must change. I needed to do something big and bold. I can tell you that I did not embark on an Eat, Pray, Love journey around the globe, but what I did do was register for a 5-day writing and singing retreat in the next county to the south. I would describe myself back then as a person who really liked to have control of her environment. And coworkers would sometimes let me know that people skills were not my strongest asset. So spending almost a week with a bunch of strangers, eating unfamiliar food, and possibly not having air conditioning was way outside my comfort zone. But I was eager to get back to doing some writing, which was something I had enjoyed as a kid. And I was hoping to meet people I clicked with and make some new friends. And that is exactly what happened. I wrote poems and essays. I made tons of still friends that I still have over a decade later. The weather wasn't even warm enough for air conditioning. The food was meh, but everybody had brought snacks to share. It was amazing. It was amazing, but none of that stuff was really surprising. I had suspected that immersing myself in creativity and friendship would end up changing my life, and it absolutely did. But what I'm here to tell you about is the singing. We live in a culture that emphasizes excellence and winning and end results. We aren't encouraged to call attention to ourselves unless we're the best. We aren't supposed to make mistakes. Early on at the retreat, one of the facilitators set about leading us in song. This is a woman with a phenomenal voice who people pay good money to hear. But what she said to us was not to worry about how we sounded. She didn't say one thing about pitch, keys, notes, tones, any of that. There was no sheet music. All she told us was, "This is not precious, y'all. It's just singing. It's just singing. No big deal." We sat forward in our seats and learned how to breathe deep down into our bellies. We learned how to loosen up our necks, stretch out our jaws. We brought forth all kinds of noises and paid attention to how the vibration felt in our bodies. We rooted our feet and energy deep into the earth. We might have looked odd or sounded strange. I have no idea. What I remember is how I felt in my body. Studies about the exercise of singing come to the same conclusions. Singing feels great and it's good for you. It decreases feelings of anxiety and depression. The brain activity involved in singing helps younger people make better grades in school, while it also helps counteract the effects of aging and cognitive decline in the elderly. It's proven to alleviate physical symptoms of illnesses like asthma, irritable bowel syndrome, addiction, Parkinson's disease, and autism. Many of us have seen folks who suffer from dementia light up when they sing songs from the past. Stroke victims who can barely speak can sometimes sing. After being shot in the brain, Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords learned to talk again, you guessed it, by singing. People who belong to singing groups are more likely to be volunteers engaged in their communities, and they report leaving even the longest, most strenuous choir rehearsals somehow more energized than when they arrived. Singing is a traditional activity for many people at the holidays. This year, we're experiencing a holiday season like no other. Most of us won't be opening presents and caroling around the tree with large groups of friends and family members like we would have in the past. There are substitutes, of course, Zoom gatherings, social distancing around a backyard fire pit with masks on. We've all had to learn to be open to change this year and sometimes to make do with less. Singing, though, never has to be in short supply. Once there were songs for everything. At that lakeside retreat, we sang to the prairie and the birds and each other. We called up the old songs everyone knows and sometimes added silly new lyrics. I won't ever be able to sing Kumbaya again without including a verse about squirrels hatching from eggs. It's a thing. After we returned to our everyday lives, I think all of us who attended have continued to sing to ourselves. When I'm feeling anxious, the sensation of my voice vibrating up and out of my chest is very soothing. I sing goofy songs to my dog about the things we do throughout the day, which brings a little joy to the same old routines. If I'm in a store with audible music, I'm usually singing along, out loud. I get funny looks, but I do not care. The great Ella Fitzgerald once said that the only thing better than singing is more singing, and I believe her. So I offer this to those of you whose holidays are feeling a little bit lackluster this year. It doesn't matter what or how or where you sing. Just mark your presence in this moment on earth by singing for yourself. Tender, cynical, nostalgic, angry, wishful. Once there were songs for everything. Dust them off and sing them, or dream up something new. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hearts are glowing with love and good cheer. Frosty the snowman is coming, bringing a COVID vaccine. See, it's just saying. If a snowman had anthracite coal for eyes, they would sparkle like diamonds. That same ore can burn so intensely that the fire can't be extinguished. We are navigating a world of extremes. May we remember that we are both the keepers and the makers of the songs that would guide us. Let us be a people who sings because we must. Go in peace.
All right, let's do our second meditation. We're going to be doing more humming now, and your goal in this moment is simply to adopt a non-judgmental, enjoyable experience in your body. So let's start again by finding some length in your spine. That can look like moving your head from side to side, even if you're in bed. You can find little ways to make space and find some gentleness and something that feels good in your body. And then I'll invite you to draw your attention to your breathing and just make your breath long and slow and quiet. You can let the corners of your lips turn up. If you're having trouble focusing, you can focus on a single sound around you. We are making our own fun and our own meaning when we meditate. So I'll invite you to anticipate what we're about to do. When you breathe in, you'll just breathe in deeply, and when you breathe out, we're just gonna hum. We don't need to do an om. We can just hum and just experience that sensation. You can think about that sensation in your belly or in your lungs, in your throat, in your lips, in your head. And we'll just start first with one even note, and then we'll go from one high note to low note, and then low note to high note. And your only task right now is just to be enjoying and non-judgmental of yourself. So let's all take a deep breath. And then just in closing, I'll have you draw to heart or mind someone who you know is struggling right now, someone who it's very easy for you to love. Maybe it's someone at church, maybe it's a family member, a pet. And I'll invite you to imagine their face before you, their smile, their voice, their hair. And then I'll invite you to send them well wishes, send them the things that you wish you had in your life, send them a prayer, send them all the kindness and the good vibes. You can focus on your heart center, noticing how your heart feels warm or like there's a golden light in it. And then repeat after me. May you be free from suffering. May you be free from harm. May you be free. And then because we're all going through something traumatic right now, I'll invite you to envision yourself before you. Close your eyes and imagine before you your own self, but as a child. Maybe there's a photo you remember. Maybe there's an image you often think about in your mind. Maybe you bring up a moment when you were very happy or when you were very lost. But you as a child, and just focus on your face. Behold your smile and your beauty and yourself. Notice in your heart space and then repeat after me. May you be free from suffering. May you be free from harm. May you be free. Blessed be and amen. I hope that you find times to engage in this practice as the winter goes on. It's called a compassion practice. It's a lot about noticing that warm feeling in your heart when you think of someone who's easy to love, and then transferring it to people who are maybe more difficult to love, or where it feels more convoluted, like yourself or someone who you're struggling with. Blessed be and amen. The work of the church depends on us. But in the context of global and national strife, what does it mean to participate in the work of the church? What does it mean to serve humanity in fellowship until all souls grow into harmony with the divine? We invite you to give generously to support the ongoing work of the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation of our shared values.
Hey everybody, I'm Diana Burrup, and I'm going to play an original for you today called Change. And I want to thank Amy for inviting me to play today. Well, there's a tug of war going on inside. There's a lot of rules I should abide. Well, they hold me down and won't let go. And they remind me when to hide and show. Yeah, there's a tug of war going on inside. I'm gonna make some changes in my life. Ignore those voices on the judgment side. I'm gonna turn around when they wanna go straight. I'm gonna step right up when they're afraid. Yeah, I'm gonna make some changes in my life. Stand in the silence and take a bow. The stage is all ours anyhow. The music plays and the dance goes on. Just step right in, feel your way. You can't go wrong. Everybody's gotta change sometime. I'm gonna feel new ways I never felt before. I swear I plan to never be bored. I'm gonna meet new people in the flow. I'm gonna open the doors and let the chaos go. Yeah, I'm gonna open up those doors and let the chaos go. Stand in the silence and take a bow. The stage is all ours anyhow. The music plays and the dance goes on. Just step right in, feel your way. You can't go wrong. Everybody's gotta change sometime. Change the way we're thinking, change the way we're acting, change what we believe in for a little peace in our hearts. it's all made up, you know. Come on, let's change it, change it, change it, change it. Oh, come on, let's change it, change it, change it, change it. Oh, come on, let's change it, change it, change it, change it to something real good. Something real good, yeah. Thank you.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again.
My life flows on in endless song above Earth's lamentation. I hear the real, the far off hymn that hails a new creation.
No storm can shake my inmost heart, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? While though the tempest round me roars, I know the truth it liveth.
This week, pay a little bit of extra attention to music. Are there ways that you could have more music in your life? Is there music you could share? Do you have an instrument that you know how to play that you just need to go sit down, get out, tune, and play? Isn't it beautiful to think about our own bodies as musical instruments that we can carry with us anywhere we go, making beats and notes, harmonies and melodies? Before we go, I also wanted to say thank you to Amy Nixon for such a thoughtful and kind reading, and just for bringing us on this journey with her towards a more musical holiday season. Go in peace, and may you have a lovely week.